Hey, I wanted to run this idea by you that I have for my next 45 minutes to an hour. I have this one joke that I've been trying to incorporate with all my sets over the last few years, but it never really fit in with anything that I was doing. And I think that I could use that one joke to kind of build an entire hour around and basically make it around some very important information and important material that's like vulnerable for me, and that is something that's been weighing on my mind for a long time, because I've always felt like super uncomfortable and weird in my own skin, that I didn't really ever know like which group that I fit in with, because like you've got the immigrant side of me and then the deep-rooted American side. And so I have this one joke that kind of talks about that, and it's based off something true that happened to me. And I've been trying to figure out how to write this super, super important material that honestly is hard for me to talk about, but I need to figure out how to make it funny. I don't know, maybe I'm just rambling. I'm not sure how much this makes sense to you, but yeah, hit me back.
Chill. Take a seat. Oh my, I haven't even done anything. Chill out. My goodness, calm down. How we doing, Frisco? We doing good? Tell you guys a little bit about me. My mom is from Louisiana, and my dad is from Iran. All right, I'm gonna say that again, all right? My mom is from Louisiana, and my dad is from Iran. So basically, like half of me voted for Trump, and the other half was bombed by Trump. My mom is from Louisiana and my dad is from Iran. So basically, half of me thinks that science is made up. And the other half only majors in computer science. My mom is from Louisiana, my dad is from Iran. So basically, like half of me thinks the election of 2020 was stolen. And the other half created the software to steal the election. No, but like growing up in this like half-breed, half immigrant, half generational American family was like super weird, man. Because like one side is this immigrant, first-born generation American. The other one is like this deep-rooted in American culture, right? So like we always never hung out with the Iranian side of the family, right? Never saw them, didn't know them that well, right? We always were with the Louisiana cousins, okay? And anytime we were with the Louisiana cousins, I just stuck out like a sore thumb, right? Like my cousins in Louisiana were like white, okay? Like you can tell how white somebody is by how much SPF they have to use. Like, ma'am, you're probably an SPF 42. Sir, you're probably an SPF 89. My cousin's SPF 163. They're just getting pinker as the day goes on. All right, there's like raw chicken. I'm just getting copper and copper as the day goes on. Or is there anything we did anytime? I just stuck out like a sore thumb. Like we go hang out. People will be like, oh man, that's cool. They brought the gardener's son to Six Flags with them. And I have like two sets of cousins on the Louisiana side of the family. One set's a lot younger than the other one. And when I was super little, when my cousins were super little, they referred to black people as brown people. And one day, we were all hanging out, and I heard the youngest one ask his brother, he goes, hey, Philip, is Michael brown? And he goes, no, he's white like us. Grandma just said that Jesus cooked him a little bit longer. Stopped going to church with Grandma after that one. Right? Like Grandma loved Jesus, right? Like she did this thing that anytime, like when we were growing up, she'd hug you and she'd like whisper in your ear and she'd go, I love you. And Jesus loves you. And he loves you. Even you little well done boy, even you. But no, like growing up in that like half immigrant, half generational American family was like different, man. It was so different. Like sometimes I had to learn about American things from my immigrant father. Like for example, I learned about baseball from my immigrant father. So I'm learning about America's favorite pastime from America's number one enemy. And since English is his second language, like sometimes he would mess up phrases. Like one day what he wanted to say to me was, Michael, when you go down to those baseball fields, I want you to hit bombs. What he said to me was, Michael, when you go down to that baseball field, I want you to drop bombs. So I show up to practice the next day. I'm like, hey, coach, my dad said that when I'm on this baseball field, I need to drop bombs. And he was like, yeah, I bet that boy did say that. I bet he did. Right, man, it was like different, like when you're in this like half immigrant, like half generational American thing, man, like I noticed things differently. And here's what I noticed. One thing is like, generation Americans, you guys do some weird things, okay? First of all, you guys kiss your kids on the lips when they're way too old. All right? New rule. If the car seat faces forward and you're kissing them on the lips still, it's time to give that one up, okay? Another thing is, like, generational Americans, like girls, they will call their father daddy way too old of an age. I learned that in college. I was hanging out with this little white girl. She was like, hey, man, I got to leave for a little bit. I got to go hang out with my daddy. And I was like, excuse me? And I was like, but I ain't judging, girl. These books are expensive. You do you. You do you. Another thing is, like, you guys, like generational Americans, y'all will talk about like deep things with your kids. You'll talk about like weird things. I blame Gilmore Girls for that. Like, all these white moms just trying to, I'm besties with my daughter. No, chill out. Like, immigrant parents don't talk to you about things. They don't talk to you about deep things. I remember one time, I went to my dad. I said, Dad, tell me what it was like growing up in Iran. And he looks at me and he goes, you want to know what it was like growing up in Iran, huh? Oh, you want to know what it was like growing up in Iran, huh? And I was like, yeah, Dad. He was like, in Iran, sometimes it is hot. Sometimes it is cold. And sometimes it is just right. And I'm like, you just tell me that Iran has seasons? Is that what you told me? Early, because like the generational American side of the family, they talk about some deep things. For example, one time when I was 6 years old, my 11-year-old cousin described to me in detail where babies come from. Like, no, that's way too much power for a 6-year-old. Like, a 6-year-old should not know what both functions of his wee-wee does. So I'm showing up to school that fall with way too much power, okay? It's the fall of 1993. Michael Jordan had just retired for the first time. The Dallas Cowboys are looking to repeat as Super Bowl champions. And little Mikey Pasvar is walking the halls of Indian Creek Elementary School, taking kids' innocence. Just snatching it away. Some friends tell their friends that Santa Claus isn't real. I'm letting kids know that what mommy and daddy does in their bedroom ain't so joyful. I'm showing up to lunch, man. I got diagrams. I got all the generational American kids around me. The immigrant kids are talking about the weather. I show up with diagrams. I'm using pretzel sticks and Cheerios. I never won Student of the 9 weeks, but I'm dang sure I won Teacher of the Year that year. Every now and then, man, you get to hang out with your dad without, like, your mom around, right? Like, your mom will go out of town and hang out with your dad. Any kids of the 90s in here? You remember dads in the 90s? They didn't know what was going on. They were just kind of, like, hanging out with your dad on the weekend without your mom in the 90s was kind of like having a substitute teacher. Like, yeah, they left a lesson plan, but they have no idea what you've been learning all semester. It's just like chaos, man. It's just like chaos. Like, you remember, like, if your dad had to drop you off at school? Right? They didn't do that. They didn't, it's just chaos. Like, watch a dad from the 90s go through a drop-off loop. They're just going the wrong way. You're like, Dad, that's not what you do. And my dad's calm says, it will be fine. It is fine. This is okay. We can do that. Absolutely. It is fine. Right? And there's two types of dads. There's like one dad who like won't buy you cool things at all, but they're like saving up for your college, right? They're helping you build your credit. They're putting money away. Maybe they're going to pay your more down payment on your first house, right? Then there's like other dads that will buy you cool stuff, like super cool things, but they have like a cocaine addiction or a gambling addiction. There's nothing in between, okay? Well, one time my mom told me, she's like, hey, next time we go to the store, I promise you, I'm going to buy you a new Michael Jordan jersey. So the next weekend, Dad's got us. Mom's out of town. I don't know where she is. My dad, I'm like, hey, Dad, Mom said next time we go to the store, I get a Michael Jordan jersey. So I'm getting a Michael Jordan jersey today. He pulls up the tag and he goes, $65 for jersey? I can build you one better than that. I was like, dang it, Dad, just once can you try cocaine, gamble, something? Give me some cool stuff, Daddy. Give me some cool stuff, man. I'm married. Anyone married in here? You guys like your spouses. That's cool. I did that joke a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, who's married in here? And the wife goes, whoop, whoop. And the husband went, ah. They're fighting, man. Like, my wife, she's Mexican, but she's also from West Texas, so she has kind of this weird accent going on. So every now and then she'll call me up. She's like, hey, babe, I got to stop by the store on the way home. I got to pick up some eggs, some milk, some water, and some tortillas. Like, what did you just say to me? It's like, yeah, I got to pick up some eggs, some milk, some water, and some tortillas. And I'm like, you just can't all of a sudden be Mexican. It doesn't work that way. Like I'm Middle Eastern, I'm not going up to people and be like, hey, what's going on, man? I'm Michael Pasvar. It's very nice to meet you, buddy. And my wife was like Mexican. She's like real Mexican, like legit Mexican. However, her parents gave her the whitest name ever. Like her name is Cindy Lynn. Like she doesn't have white privilege, she has name privilege. Man, is she cocky with that name privilege, guys, right? Like some of you guys don't know this, but sometimes minorities, they will use a different name on their resume so they can get a job interview. Cindy Lynn is the name they use on those resumes. Man, and she loves to use that name. She's the only person I've ever met in my life that in the Chick-fil-A name will give both names. She's over there giving her middle name out. Like she's trying to relate with those little 16-year-old white kids. My pleasure on that, right? And she's cocky, dude. She's cocky with it, man. Cindy Lynn will show up to the airport 27 minutes before we have to board. She don't care. Cindy Lynn don't give a damn. She just strolls in, right? Cindy Lynn will order her coffee when it's time to board. She got that name privilege. I'm Michael Hossein, okay? There ain't no taking Russian in the airport for Michael Hossein. I show up 4 hours early to the airport, or I was raised by Mohammed Hossein, okay? We got there the day before. We showed up. Some families for fun are learning the state capitals. We learned the TCA playbook. I learned recently, I was at my parents' house a few months back, and I learned what Hossein means. My dad tells me, he goes, hey man, he goes, you want to know what Hossein means? I was like, absolutely. And he's like, Hossein, it means beautiful. And not like face, I mean like right here in the inside. And I'm like, did my dad just, she's got a really good personality, me. We go to the in-laws a lot, right? We go to the in-laws. And my in-laws, they have a German Shepherd and a poodle, okay? One day we were all hanging out, and I was like, isn't that crazy how like the German Shepherd and the poodle, like they're the same species. They could mate, they could have a dog, and they're the same thing. They're so different. My father-in-law stops what he's doing. He looks at the dogs, looks at me, looks at my wife, looks at the dogs, looks at me, looks at my wife, looks back at me one last time. And he goes, that is why I like birds. They do not mix. They do not blend their feathers. Do you guys know how uncomfortable it was for me to have my Hispanic father-in-law tell his non-Hispanic son-in-law that the reason why he likes birds is because they don't blend their feathers? At first I was offended, but then I was like, dang, that's some beautiful racism. Oh my gosh, that's poetic. They don't blend their feathers? It's poetry and emotion. Basically what I'm saying is this, guys. If the KKK would have hired Edgar Allan Poe to write their chants, they might have lasted a little bit longer. I don't know. It's fun, man. You have the kids now, right? And like one of the best things about having kids is like seeing your parents with the kids, right? And I like watching each side of the family try to make the kid more like their side of the family. For example, last Christmas, my Hispanic mother-in-law got my daughter a broom for Christmas. She's like, "You better get to work, mija," right? Which ticked off my Middle Eastern dad, so he got her a burqa. And proceeded to take away her human rights. My dad hates that joke. Oh my God, he hates that joke so much. He's like, "Why I love your daughter so much. Why would you tell me?" But they should not vote. They should not be allowed. My dad is so private, and I'm just up here like doing this. Like right now, he's like probably just like changing my inheritance percentage. Like that sound you guys are hearing is my sister calculating how many more years she can retire from because her brother is screwing up. Right? She's like, "Oh, 17 extra years, I don't have to work, right?" We recently moved into this like super white, super affluent neighborhood. Okay, like super white, super affluent. Like to tell you about the neighborhood, like across the street from the neighborhood, these like really nice turf football fields, okay? There's a park next to it. We were taking the kids to the park next to the turf fields one day, and there was like 9 white kids out there with a football on the football field. It's like, heck yeah, dude, they're about to play 4-on-4, all-time Q. You know what these little white kids are doing? This is how white this neighborhood is? They're practicing punting. We're just gonna have a punt off? No return guy, just punting into the air. Like Prosper High School is the only high school in America where the punter is getting more girls than the running back. And like in the neighborhood, there's this field in the middle of the neighborhood, and there's this little football team that practices there like 6-7 days a week. They're 5 years old, right? And they're always out there practicing, no matter what the weather is. Maybe like 8 or 9 months ago, they were outside. It was 37 degrees and raining, and they were out there practicing, okay? And I'm Facebook friends with their coach, and he posted about it, and he was like, "Our boys are built different. They got that dog in them. Our boys are built different." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure little Braxton was dropped off in a $97,000 Tesla eating organic snacks. I don't think he's built different. It's like, has he played black people yet? Has that happened? Like, you take Braxton down to the hood for one weekend of tournaments. He immediately on Monday signs up for lacrosse. Like, the only dog that Braxton has in him is a Labradoodle. Like I said, I'm married, man. My wife, like I like to brag on her, man. She's smart, she's giving, she's beautiful, she's the entire package. Like sometimes when I see her, like I think to myself, man, like if the girls in high school that put me in the friend zone could see me now. You know what I mean? Like I got put in the friend zone so much in high school. Like, girl, if you and I would have went to high school together, oh my God, I would have friended you so hard. Can you imagine the secrets we would have told each other? Oh my God, so many secrets. We would have set crisscross applesauce on your bed. I would have gone with you to buy that sweater. We would have made a friendship bracelet together. Guys, I made a friendship bracelet with a girl one time. Don't do it. It does not work. Okay? I got put in the friend zone so much in high school, man. I was doing some weird things with girls, okay? I'm going to tell y'all a story that I've never told anybody before, okay? One time in high school, I had 3 different girls on 3 different times come to my house by themselves. And I made each one of them sing Jasmine solo. From A Whole New World, from Aladdin. Like as if they were like auditioning from some weird musical. I wasn't even singing with them. They were just in my room on my bed singing their hearts out. I gave them sheet music like, from the top. Let's start that over. There was no callbacks. No one got the part. I'm locking the door because no father needs to see his son doing that. And one of them couldn't sing at all. I mean, she was just bad. No character development at all. It was just... One time, one of the girls, her mom put me in the friend zone, right? She goes... Different girl. We were hanging out at her house watching a movie in her bed. Her mom comes out there, shuts the door, and she looks at me in the eye. She goes, I'm going to shut this door because I trust you. She must have heard about that weird musical audition I was doing. She's like, she's safe in there. Because I was awkward growing up, man. Like, I didn't really know where I fit in, dude. Like, when you have these blended feathers, man, like, you don't know which group to, like, kick it with, dude. Like, I didn't look like any of my friends, and there was very little Iranian ones, and the ones that were there, I just knew about the weather, so how was I going to kick it with them? And like, I didn't look like any of my friends, so I was always like going through these different stages, trying to act like different things that I wasn't. Like, for example, when I was in 6th grade, I went through this phase where I acted super black. Like, just black, dude. Like, just like saying things that I'm not allowed to say. I was wearing FUBU, like... If you don't know what FUBU is, it stands for For Us, By Us. And I was just like rocking it for no reason. Right? I had a red fitted Yankees cap that I wore backwards with an and one jersey. I was just wearing it walking. I was like, I gotta do this for the culture. I gotta do this for the culture. I do this for the culture, you know? And this was also the first time in my life where I got chubby. So I thought I looked like rapper the Mace the Rapper, but really I just looked like Fat Joe. Just walking around chubby, ethnically ambiguous. I was listening to music that like I didn't even like for no reason because I thought I had to, because I was like, you know, that's what we do, right? Like I thought we had to do this. Like I listened to this one group called LSG. Y'all know what they are? Someone's black in here. There we go. Me and you, girl. We're the only people in here. All right. I listened to their music. It was like so sensual. Like 6th grade me listening. I don't even like this. You guys want to hear the lyrics to their #1 song, LSG? Okay, I got them for you. Let's look at them. All right, you ready for this? All right, I want you guys to imagine me on my way home from youth group. Wearing my homemade Michael Jordan jersey. Listening to this, it's like, it starts off with my body, your body, all over your body, baby. My body, your body. My body, your body. All over my body, girl. And then it says my body about 14 more times. Really terrible lyrics. They should have asked my father-in-law for help. All right, then it goes, it's like, in the middle of the night when my body's fiending for you, baby. Gotta call up and let you know what I'm just feeling, baby. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's he feeling? And then it goes, my body more. It's like, what body? Are we about to do communion? What's he talking about? All right, so I'm listening to this music, and then it turns out, all of a sudden it's time to go to the first dance in 6th grade. Right? So I show up, my FUBU polo. And in my mind, I'm like, it's about to be my body on your body. I'm walking in confident, I'm like, we about to be on your body. Our bodies are about to body. Your body, my body. That's like what I'm thinking. But really, I'm like, I don't even know how to talk to a girl. Right? I've got to get my best friend Drew to ask a girl for me to dance. And I'm always like, we're going to be on my body. But really, we're doing this thing, right? And I'm like, do I touch her booty? No, we're at her shoulder blade. We can't get that far down. This was also the time, man, where like everybody was like bleaching their hair. Okay? Everyone was wearing like the frosted tips. Oh, yeah. You can't do that with this hair. You can't wear. I just look like I had a caramel on my head. Just like a squashed milk dud just hanging out. Basically what I'm saying, guys, if I would have been gay, I could have been all 5 members of NSYNC in one person. And then 7th grade rolls around, and my friends decide, like, we're gonna sing Pretty Fly for a White Guy in the talent show. And for some reason, I'm invited to that. It's like, one of these things are not like the other, right? So when it's my time for my verse, I'm like, I'm pretty fly for a white guy. Eighth grade was the first time that I realized that, yes, I was different, and that some people thought that difference was a negative thing. When you're in 8th grade, man, like when you're that age, you just want to be like everybody else, right? Like, and you listen to what adults have to say a lot. And I remember one time I felt like I dealt with that for the first time. We were sitting in history class, and we were going over in history who everybody in the 1800s in America, who was allowed to own land in America in the 1800s. And so our teacher starts talking about it. He goes, none of the girls, none of y'all would have been able to, because it was only white males that could own land. So all the boys, y'all would have been able to own land, all the boys, except for Michael and Maurice. And I was like, you just put me with the black people? Your boy made it! I looked at him, I was like, dog, 300 years later, still persecution of our people, man. He was like, shut up, dude, you're not... Not at all. 9th grade came around, man, after I got real into emo music. You guys know emo music? It's the music where it's like, Dear Dad! It's like, I'm sorry I'm not perfect. It's the music where they all think they're unique, but they look like there are other 180,000 people in the area that all of a sudden it's like, we will not conform! Except for all of our lead singers sound like this. We're not conformists. And I get, like, I don't look like a dude that should be listening to emo music, okay? I get that. I look more like a guy whose parents probably bought him a car when he turned 16 and paid for his college. Spoiler alert, both those things happened. Anybody else get a car when they turn 16? Anybody? Yeah. What kind of car did you get? Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile?
Yeah.
Like what year?
It was an 89.
Oh, I don't talk to poor people. Gross. Get away. I don't talk to... Ooh, I like that immigrant money, baby. Daddy bought me a new car. Okay? And notice I call him daddy, right? Because my white side is female. Okay? So sometimes I be doing female white girl stuff, okay? I like to gossip. Anybody want to gossip after this? Oh my God, I will gossip with you. Wow, listen to this music like real loud, man. I used to get real into like Linkin Park, man. I'd hear these songs. Chill out, guys. Come on, calm down. This is like real dark music. It was like, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even. And I would go to sleep with that music. Just be on super loud. I can't help but like thinking about my parents, like hanging out, you know, downstairs, sitting around, talking about like, look at all these things we built, man. Like, this great house, you know. My dad thinking like, man, I came to this country with nothing, worked my way up, you know. My mom working multiple jobs, working a day job, and then going to being a top producer in a direct sales job, doing all this while overcoming having a Louisiana education. My dad overcoming not knowing English to become something. My mom also not knowing English. Like just two 25-year-olds falling in love over some English, right? Ooh, tell me how to conjugate that verb. My dad told me one time, man, me and your mom, we didn't fight for the first 5 years we were married. Yeah, because you couldn't understand each other. And they're just sitting about, like, talking about, you know, like, man, look what we did. Like, we just took the kids to Europe. Man, we're going to put them through college, everything like that. And then, softly from my room, in the end, it doesn't even matter. I quit sports after ninth grade year, man. I decided I was just gonna focus on theater and theater only, which that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Word of advice: don't do that. And I remember after like ninth grade year, like every couple weeks, the football coach would come up to me and be like, hey, Pasvar, are you going to play football again? Pasvar, you going to play football again? Pasvar, you going to play football again? Hey, Pasvar, you going to play football again? Right? And it's like, bro, when I realized that I can pretend to be a football player, like instead of going in 103-degree heat, like, dude, like I'm not catching CTE, but you got to be careful because you can catch GAY. I always go to him, man. I always be like, hey, man, you gonna play football? You gonna play football? You gonna play football? It's like that football coach was like a really good guy, right? I got to know him a lot better after I graduated college. He helped out a lot with this organization that I volunteered out. Super nice guy. Got to know him a lot after that. And he actually tragically passed away pretty young a couple years ago. And I can't help but think, that the day he watched these broad shoulders go down the hallway to learn Shakespeare instead of the I formation, that didn't take at least 19 years off his life. I guess I just wasn't built different. I didn't have that dog. And they did this stupid thing when I was in high school where they would like put us in this area for our like rehearsals that was in the same space that the football team would have their study hall. That's not a good idea, okay? And one time, this football player, this bully, he yelled at a couple of my homies that were closeted, which like, and he called them the F word. And like, we knew they were closeted. Like, there was no, like we knew, right? Like, because you know, like, when you're hanging out, like, with how guys talk about girls that are 16, 17 years old, you know how they talk about them. And sometimes when we get their turn to talk about a girl, they're like, yeah, Ashley, she's got the perfect cheekbones for that updo. Right, so they're calling our friends, the closeted ones, the F word, and like, you gotta defend them, right? You gotta defend them. That actually happened to be the same day that we were learning the jazz routine for our musical. So I don't know if you guys have ever chased a bully through your high school to the parking lot in jazz shoes. But that is exhilarating. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about this bully, okay? First of all, this bully, when we were in 6th grade, he was in 8th grade. When we got to 9th grade, he was still in 8th grade. Okay? So this fool shows up to 9th grade, 18 years old. Legally allowed to vote at 18. Like, no one should be going through learning about Algebra 1 and trying to figure out who they're voting for city commissioner in the midterms. All right, so we go up to him, man, you can't say that to them, dude. You're grown. You're supposed to be responsible. You're supposed to be a role model for us, right? And I'm not someone to fight, but I am petty. So I go to him and say, hey, man, let me find out your girlfriend can carry a tune. I'll show up to her house tomorrow with sheet music. Right? And then I just sashayed out of there. And headed back to rehearsal, jacked up, okay? Like, there was way too much testosterone in that musical rehearsal that day. I'm like, we ain't starting with the opening number. We starting with the finale. We starting with the finale. I was like, are you okay? Yeah. Sashay on you out there. I'm a sashay, you know. I decided to, after that, to like study theater in college. Another mistake. And telling your like Middle Eastern immigrant father that you're gonna do theater in college instead of like a science is a lot like telling your Southern Baptist parents that you're gay. It's a lot of the same questions, like, what will we tell the family, right? Like, how will you support your family? I remember when I told him that the next day, he must have stayed up all night, researching all kinds of things. He sat me down, he was like, Michael, you have no skills. I am signing you up for IT class. And I knew what I had to do. I had to go into my room, put in the earbuds, and listen. Dear Daddy, dearest. So I went to the IT class. That was my conversion camp. I think about my dad a lot, man. I think about, like, my dad has that dog in him. He is built different, right? Like, I think about, like, him coming to this country for the first time with no support system, no money in his pocket, right? And I think about, like, how hard that was, but I think about sometimes probably the hardest thing was just that first day going through the airport, right? Like, how did you even navigate that? You couldn't read the signs. You didn't know where you're going. You couldn't speak the language. Like, we're built different, man. Like, I live 3.2 miles away from this theater. I've been here 7 times in the last 6 months. I use Google Maps every single time. My parents have been in the same house for 30 plus years. I still use Google Maps with them. And I know my mom's here. She's thinking, it's like, nope, 36 years. It's 36.2 years. Like, my mom is going to argue with me how many years they lived in their house. And it's like, dude, like, he's just like, you know, he's built different. I remember, like, this man got A's in hard engineering classes without knowing the language. I went home on a weekend my junior year because I was freaking out about a costume construction paper, okay? Like, we aren't the same. Like, he's built different, right? I think about all the things that, like, he overcame, right? Like, he overcame, like, all these different things, not knowing the language, not having a support system, right? Him and my mom just, like, working and to, like, make something of themselves. And, like, my dad, like, overcoming all those things and showing up and working his way to the part to where he's all over the world in meetings with brands of people, of executives, of brands that you guys have in your pockets, right? And, like, making himself of something, right? You know, I'm named after my dad. And not everybody gets that privilege to be named after the person they look up to the most, right? And, like, I used to, for the longest time, try to kind of hide that side of who I was, right? Like, because people would make me feel weird about being different. And, like, I remember 2007, 2008, when Barack Obama was running for president, and they would use our middle name as, like, a weapon, right? Like, they would say his name as, like, a negative thing to say about him. And I remember at the same time, I was graduating college, and right before I went to, you know, we were about to walk the stage, they asked us, like, hey, what do you want your diploma to say? And they're like, keep in mind, what it says on your diploma is what it will say, what we will announce on the stage that day. And I was like, well, just put Michael H. Pasvar then, right? And, like, that hurts, man, like, to sit there to think that in that moment, I couldn't let my father hear his name in front of hundreds of people when he was the one that got me to that point, right? And it was like a regret I lived with for a lot of years. And then fast forward to, like, 7 years after I graduate, I go and I play golf with my dad. And, like, we're going with his buddies. And when we get there, all of his friends come and start dapping. I was like, what's up, Joe? Like, hold on, man, that was an option? Like all these years, I could have been Mikey Joe, you mean, right? Like, oh, you just out there blending your own feathers, huh? He gave himself his own name privilege. I was just glad he didn't go with Cindy Lynn. Thanks, guys. I'm Michael Jose Pasvar. You guys have been so much fun.